Hello again! I'm so happy to see you here with me today as we keep learning more about the simple tenses in English. In our last grammar video, we learned about the simple present, when to use it, and how it is formed. We also learned about what happens when using the negative or question forms of simple present. Now we're going to take what we learned and build on it as we learn about the simple future. Do you remember the questions that we ask when it comes to tenses? The first one was about when it happens. Simple future is the tense that we use when we are referring to something that has not started yet, meaning that it will start and end in the future. The good news is that simple future is actually much easier to form than simple present, and it's actually easier to choose when to use it as well. There are essentially two ways to form the simple future, and both of them use the same basic formula, which makes it quite easy to remember. The best part about future simple is that there is no conjugation. It doesn't matter if the subject is singular or plural, the way that we form this is the same. That means that we could form a sentence and then substitute a different pronoun and the sentence would stay the same. How nice is that? The first way that we form simple future is by using the word will combined with the root form of the verb. For example, I will see him tomorrow. He will arrive on Monday. They will eat chicken for dinner. Notice that each of these sentences uses the basic formula of subject plus will plus root form of the verb. You may also notice that in my examples, I placed some extra clue words to tell you about the time of things. Tomorrow, on Monday, and for dinner are all extra clues that the action is happening at some point in the future. The other way that we can form simple future is by using the formula of subject plus the conjugated form of to be, which is, am, or are, plus going to, plus the root verb. Some examples are, he's going to win the race. I'm going to go to the store next weekend. We're going to clean the yard. Notice that in each of these cases, the subject and verb to be were contracted together. I'm, we're, and he's. These conjugations simply represent both words, and in speech we often hear these words combined, even though in formal writing we prefer to see them separate. With that being said, it in no way changes the meaning of the sentence. You may be wondering then how to choose between will and going to. To some degree, these formations both have the same meaning and will be understood interchangeably. However, if you are really trying to get the nuances of English grammar correct, there are slightly different scenarios that an English speaker will automatically choose subconsciously over the other. The first difference is based on the timing of making decisions. Will is typically used when there is a decision made in the moment that someone is speaking. For example, if someone volunteers to do something, they would say, "I'll do it." However, if the decision was made before someone began speaking, they would use going to. For example, we're going to leave at 5 o'clock. The second is based on predictions. If a prediction is based on someone's opinion, they would use the word will. For example, I think that number 5 will win the race. However, if the prediction is based on some kind of fact, for example, something we can hear or see right now, we would use going to. For example, number 5 is going to win the race. He's already ahead by 30 meters. Will is also used when speaking about future facts. The sun will go down at 8 p.m. tonight. And for requests, offers, promises, and refusals. I will drive you to your game tonight. Obviously, if we can make refusals for something that will happen in the future, we also need to know how to form the negative version of simple future. This is done relatively easily by adding the word not to the sentence. In a sentence where the word will is used, we place the not between the word will and the verb. I will not go to the store. However, one thing to keep in mind is contractions. Since we've already said that we use contractions a lot with this tense, it makes sense that we do so for the negative version as well. In this case, will and not often get contracted into the word won't. I won't go to the store. In these cases, we would always hear the contraction happen between will and not, rather than between the pronoun and will. This means that, at least in Canadian English, you would not hear someone say, I'll not go to the store. This would sound incorrect. To make the phrase be plus going to negative, we place the not after the conjugated form of to be and before going to. He is not going to the store. In this case, the contraction can actually happen interchangeably between the pronoun and verb to be, and the verb to be and the word not. For example, we can easily say, he's not going to the store, as well as he isn't going to the store. Both sound equally correct. Finally, you may be wondering about the word placement for a question. If so, excellent. In order to form a question, we have to change the word order, placing the subject after the simple future tense has already been started. For the will form of future simple, we simply switch the subject with the word will to make a question. Will he go to the store? When it comes to the going to form of future simple, we simply switch the subject and the conjugated form of the word to be, while leaving the word going to where it is. For example, is he going to read the book? This is the simple way to form a question with the simple future tense. However, notice that it also encourages a simple yes or no answer in this form. If we are looking for a more in-depth answer, we need to add a W word component to the question. We can do this by simply adding the W word at the beginning of the sentence without changing the word order. For example, when will he go to the store? Or why is he going to read the book? Note that adding these words does not change the word order for the rest of the sentence. Before we wrap up this mini grammar lesson on simple future, please note that there is no future in time clauses, such as those starting with when, while, if, as soon as, before, or after. In that part of the sentence, we have to use the simple present. For example, it is incorrect to say, when you will ask the question, he will answer you. Rather, we say, when you ask the question, simple present, he will answer you, future simple. Another quick mention for those looking for some more advanced language tips is that adverbs such as only, ever, still, always, just, etc. are placed similarly to the word not in a negative form, with the adverb coming after will in will sentences and after the conjugated form of to be in going to sentences. Finally, if you want to form a passive sentence rather than an active sentence, simply change the verb to be a passive form. You don't need to do anything to the sentence structure itself. We will go over active and passive sentences more in a future video if you're not familiar with the passive structure. Once again, it's hard to create a full grammar-based lesson without it having a lot of content. Do you have questions about what we've discussed today? If so, comment below and I'll do my best to respond. As always, if there is something that you would like to see a video of, please feel free to drop it in the comments and I'll work on adding it to the upcoming videos list. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and see you next time on ESL Universe.